cutting back in just a little bit earlier than I was going to. I've noticed that this ship here has 2487 fuel. So what I'm going to do is when this one gets down to 400 units of fuel, I'm going to cut the engines, transfer the remaining fuel over here, and then decouple these two big tanks and the mainsail. And then the rest of the trip will be handled by this ship. Having gotten a sincere amount of boost from the Rockomax mainsail over here, even if it is running at about a third power, it still is making for a quicker burn than had the whole thing been done with nuclear engines. Perhaps not as efficient, I'll admit, but honestly, I don't care right now. I just want this thing to work. We'll work on efficiency for future flights. Okay, it's just about time to cut the engine on this, cut this mainsail. Yeah, let's cut that thing. And then transfer the remaining fuel in there. And out of this, don't let the mainsail blow up the whole thing tank. Let's make sure all of these are plenty full as well. Oh yeah. Alright, that's all the fuel out of this section. Let's hope. Okay, kill rotation. I'm gonna time warp trick it to make sure we have no angular momentum. And now we're going to decouple this thing. Engage thrusters and move ahead to get clear of it. So far so good. Nothing broke. Now we go control from here. Get realigned to the maneuver node. Without the thrusters, thank you very much. Fortunately, we seem to be clear enough to not smash into the Rockomax that we're leaving behind. Well, we're still close enough. Let me get a look at that thing. No, that doesn't have a remote control unit on it. Oh well. Alright. Off. Alright, now hold the node. And it was action group 9, not 8, to, oh good grief, what are you flopping around so much? Alright, now we resume the burn. Get this show on the road. And I went ahead and turned the lights off because we're on the shady side of things right now and there's no sunlight on the solar panels. And I really don't like the way that thing is flopping around. So once again, I'm not going to accelerate any faster. We'll be back when the burn is completed. Alright, I did finally figure out that if I disabled MacJeb's hold the node thing, it stopped all the flopping. It has required a certain amount of manual fine-tuning and playing with stuff to get it to go, but I can actually burn at full thrust without having the ship threatening to flop itself apart. And our close approach is getting lower. Actually, I don't see that number changing at all. Alright, that tells me cut the engines and let's not push our luck and burn unnecessary amounts of fuel. Speaking of fuel, this tank never did get filled up all the way, so let's make sure it is. And then we'll cancel the current maneuver node and we'll plot a mid-course correction and see about improving things later on in the flight. That. Get rid of this. Get outside of Kerbal sphere of influence, out here to Kerbal escape. So let's do the time warp. Easy trip, no unwanted moon encounters. And now let's cut the time warp down, see what we can do about a mid-course correction, because we're coming up on a good place to do it right there. We'll add a maneuver there. Let's see, let's throw in just a little bit of plane change here. That's the wrong direction. Alright, that looks good right there by itself. Alright, now we need some prograde. One, 2, 5, 7. And again, it's bouncing back and forth. 592. Okay, that's better. 522. 420. 327. 281. 491. Okay, we have to go back the other way. Make the increment smaller. What if we move the burn? lose so much delta V perhaps. And yes, I know MacLeod's maneuver planner can plot this real easy and make it really super nice. I'd like to not use that if I can. Well, that's no good. That's a whole lot better. $269, $464, go the other way. $108, $49. We're almost close to an encounter here. Bingo, we have an encounter. Duna periapsis 29,000. Let's set this down to -1 increment. See if we can bring that down. And apparently 29,000, 28,000 is about the best we're going to get from here, but that's not bad. Alright. I'll take it right there as it is. Go ahead and close that. First thing to do is to schedule the burn. And then let's get lined up for it. And once it's lined up, we turn Smart ASS off and proceed under SAS control. Make sure we have control from here, from the correct part of the ship. Yeah. Alright, turn that off. SAS on. And let's just time warp towards our burn, which is just in a couple of days. 11 days, excuse me. Okay, we're still a couple of hours out. Two-and-a-half minute burn. I want to fine-tune our alignment. Just making sure that control from here is set correctly, because this doesn't quite look right, but we are not doing just prograde burn. So As a matter of fact, come to think of it, we're doing negative prograde and negative radial. That's why we appear to be pointed in the wrong direction. We're not, but it just looks that way. Okay. So we're in position, all lined up, time warp forward, burn at 1 minute 15 seconds. Like right now. I missed it by about 10 seconds. I don't think that's going to be a big deal. We can make another course correction. And in 2 minutes and 17 seconds, we will know if this burn is going to put us as close to where we're going as we want. I'm thinking it probably will. Now that we don't have any more flopping and shaking around, I'll see you in 2 minutes. Okay, burn's almost done. Had to do a little bit of tweaking to have this thing dead on the node, but all in all, not bad. It still doesn't hold the way the ASAS used to, and I hate that. We're just about there. We have our encounter. Cut. Get rid of the maneuver node. Let's see if we can bring the periapsis down. A little bit more burn. Okay, it's getting jittery. So let's put on some RCS, back up just a little bit. That's turning out better. This time it's actually reversing or lowering the periapsis. Apparently that other burn was taking it up. Alright, now it's starting to go up again. Stop, RCS off, SAS off. And that's going to be it for now. Next thing to do is, frankly, get into Duna sphere of influence. Or perhaps a little ways out. These two orbit lines are too close together here, so I'm going to schedule a maneuver or a alarm, sphere of influence change, and let's give it about 10 minutes worth of warning. And now we will time warp ahead. This thing will finally get to Duna, and Bill can finally get rescued. All I can say is it's about bloody time. less than a day out. Close alarm. Go ahead and cross the sphere of influence line. We're 9 minutes out. Don't lock up on me. Locked up on me. Alright, the good news is that nothing is destroyed. The bad news is that it has set us back all the way back to here when we were up there at Duna Encounter. So, let's see, how's our time warp? Alright, that's the SOI changed. That's cool. I'm going to time warp ahead again. Get to Duna SOI change, and then I'm going to stop recording for the transition so that it doesn't crash on me again. It would be nice if that bug will ever get fixed. And I don't believe it's a bug with Fraps, because this didn't start happening to me until 0.19, and I've been using Fraps, the same version, the whole time. The only thing that's changed has been KSP. So something in KSP or Unity is the cause of this. Close alarm, and I will see you on the other side of that SOI change. Alright, here we are. We made the transition without crashing. This is good. And it looks like we're coming in on a very polar kind of orbit. Not my favorite way to do things, but we'll live. Actually, can we do something about changing that alignment this far out? Alright, let's give that a try. Let's see, what is our inclination right now? Flight stats. Inclination 84 degrees. Yeah, that's polar, alright. I don't see that doing any good. And so, this is the kind of thing we probably could have changed a whole lot easier, much farther out, had I thought of it. So, let's just set up a retrograde burn close to periapsis. See about getting into orbit, and then worry about a plane change later. goody, an Ike encounter. Alright. We can do this burn, 1,085 meters per second. Alright, let's get lined up. And we'll just do this sucker. Alright, go ahead and hold that. Switch back here. Make sure we have control from here, from the right part of the ship. We do. Alright. Let's see. Disable the engines. Throttle up and then turn them on and off real quick. Well, it still seems to be somewhat unsure, but I'm guessing about a 5 or 10 minute burn from the looks of it. Certainly not 2 days. Add an alarm for that. And let's give it a 5-minute warning. We'll warp down and burn it. Close alarm and let's light the engines. Get this thing into a Duna orbit, get capture, and then get down to periapsis and bring this down closer to the planet. Let's see about getting aligned on a somewhat equatorial orbit. And my guess was right, about 5.5 minutes. Or I guess my guess was close. So we'll see you in 5 minutes.